Are Google I.O.'s announcements a reason to panic? Are Chinese telecom giants about to replace mobile data plans with AI token bundles? Massive leak reveals thousands of Byte-coded apps are accidentally spilling corporate data across the open web, and what to do about it? All this and more on Tech Column by Netpublik. We're tracking an aggressive shift from open software development to pure corporate land grabs this week. The illusion of secure, easy, AI-generated tech is actively crashing into reality.
The guardrails are completely coming off, whether it's structural security leaks from amateur prompt engineering or major platform forcing deeper algorithmic reliance. The risks for enterprise and regular users are skyrocketing. Well, I thought President Trump's visit to China will land a deal for NVIDIA, but apparently China politely implied that the country wants to focus on building its own tech stack.
That's why it's not in today's episode. Also, not in our news roundup, Meta laid off around 8,000 people in an effort to save money to invest in AI infrastructure, but our sympathies goes to those who are affected.
Let's get straight into the news bites.
Byte number 1, China's next-gen AI token plans. Forget cellular data rollovers. China's state-owned telecom giants are officially restructuring the consumer market by selling specialized AI token plans.
This is a massive market preparation strategy. Instead of buying gigabytes, consumers can subscribe to monthly token pools directly integrated into network infrastructure. It commoditizes AI at absolute cost, forcing the entire population into a state-subsidized algorithmic ecosystem.
So this is actually a good thing because it's basically teaching the market to pay for the actual services at the actual cost, more or less, or like increasing it slowly. Because in the old days, if you want to search for something, you go to Google or Baidu or whatever the search engine you have, just type what you want, and it's more or less free because it's part of the phone plan, right? Now, for specialized AI services, you can use this at a special price. So now they're slowly teaching the market, hey, you want to use AI, you've got to pay for it because it's not free. AI cannot be scaled up because if you have more users, you need to have more inference, you need to have more servers, you need to have all that brouhaha. So yeah.
Like the last 5 years, the telco companies build their plan with the over-the-top streamings like Spotify and Netflix, and now the China, especially China Telecom and China Unicoms bundle their customer packages with AI tokens.
Yeah, it's a very good idea because now it's bringing attention to the entire population. There is AI, you can learn from it. Remember, learn from it because in China, the TikTok does not exist in China. The local version does. I can't remember what it's called, but the local version there is more focused on education, more focused on career planning, more focused on a lot of positive stuff that social media can bring. The ones that's in the West is not that positive.
This is also interesting that China Mobile launched a universal token services in Shanghai for consumer and office scenarios, which allowing the users to access different AI platforms. You imagine, buy one, and also you can use all of those AI platforms.
Different local Chinese AI platforms.
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah, I mean, this is a model that could be used in other countries. The telco would be the center of all this. It's the income will stay in the country. Consumers can get the AI. Kids can learn. I mean, it's instead of having people subscribe to like 3 different services, ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, or like having Spotify, Netflix, and all that, you have it on one area that's partnered with all of those parties. So yeah, it's brilliant. It's a very smart move.
Yeah, speaking of that, my kid subscribed to ChatGPT, so I have to make the budget for her, and also, of course, with the Spotify and also the Netflix. Still,
wow,
we're in the subscription era right now.
Yep.
So I won't be surprised if I or we will give the AI tokens gift for the holiday season. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, again, this starts in China. What other countries will follow suit? That I'm very interested to see, because I mean, you just have to make a local LLM hosted in the telco. So which is the next country to do it?
India, maybe, or Indonesia, maybe, who has that big cellular users, yeah.
Yeah, oh yeah, very big.
Next, Byte 2, the robot publicity stunts. Humanoid robots are attempting to claim the services floor again, but the stings are highly visible. A live broadcast showcasing autonomous service bots performing intricate retail tasks, triggering widespread skepticism.
So the robots are from Figure, an AI robotics company building the world's first commercially viable autonomous humanoid robot. Industry insiders are calling it a pure publicity stunt. The machines are still highly dependent on the controlled environments and remote teleoperation. It's an aggressive piece of theater designed to justify workforce reductions rather than showcase genuine technological readiness.
The Figure's robot event began on May 13 as a planned 8-hour robot demonstration featuring the company's latest Figure 03 robots. The task involved inspecting the barcodes on various packages and then placing the packages on a conveyor belt with the barcodes facing downward. This is done without any human intervention.
And went on for 9 days, non-stop.
Just a day, yeah?
Yeah,
Before we
100
recorded this, yeah?
It finished like about 18 hours before we're recording. 168 hours non-stop on YouTube live stream. It's kind of hypnotic to see the robot that looks so human, and as you look at it longer and longer, you're just like mesmerized, just like looking at the packages face down, looking at the packages face down, grab package. 9 days, and yeah, I mean, was there some stoppages? Did they have to replace things? I don't know. I'd have to look at all the videos again just to do double check. But it's theater. It is, but it is frightening to see how fast robotics have come.
But I'm wondering, is this a real packaging industry? Because, the packages is almost like the same, yeah. But maybe I'm wrong, yeah. And also, is there maybe just the same packages? It's like coming all over 24 hours, 24/7, and then maybe it's a
It could be, yeah,
it's a
circling.
conveyor belt, yeah.
We'd have to put an AI to see if they spot the same packages over and over again.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
So this is the model Figure 03. The previous one, Figure 02, already been applied to the BMW factory, and it has a huge success actually.
So, is this the future of the labor force? Because this robot doesn't need to sleep, doesn't need to eat, doesn't have to need any toilet breaks. Probably won't complain as well, unless you put unless it goes AGI on it. But is that the future of the workforce?
I see this robot is getting better and better. You see that robot, how to pinch it? It pinch it and then flip it and then slide it. Although it's not like a acrobatic robot like the China has, yeah.
China, yeah.
So is he? Oh no, I'm using the third person, yeah. Or they or them or neutral gender?
You'd have to ask the robot for that question. But still, I mean, like I think this is a very good example of what robots can do. But the question is, can it be done on a massive scale? Because you still need battery power, you still need energy, you still need power. If it breaks down, and these are moving parts, it will break down eventually.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, like, is this the future of the workforce? Can it replace humans?
Yeah,
it's still out there.
If you're mentioning the massive scale, the Figure or the others robot industry, they're still trying to collecting more data. That's why we see a lot of you see on the social media that the factory workers also using the goggles on the forehead in order to see how they work. So it's kind of ironic, man, how the labor provide the data, yeah?
Yeah, it's kind of ironic that now this is the way of getting data. Like in the old days when we were programming, we had to do it line by line in code, as they call it nowadays. But now, like, is this the way how you do it? You get the video, how it's done, you give it to the AI then interprets it. But do they interpret it correctly? That is something that has yet to be proven.
But 9 days, 168 hours nonstop, that's a record, man.
Yep. So kudos to Figure. So good on you. So byte number 3, the vibe coding security leak. The vibe coding trend has officially triggered a corporate security nightmare. A sweeping investigation by Wired revealed that thousands of AI agent-generated applications have exposed highly sensitive corporate and personal data to the open web.
This is what happens when you let non-engineers build production code without an audit layer. Just like us, fish. This application lack basic security hygiene. They hard-code API credentials, leave database unencrypted. They create wide open backdoor factors into private internal enterprise servers. Dangerous things.
Well, not to say that non-developers, non-coders should not be allowed
Yes,
to make
I
these
agree with
programs, these apps, but it does take a certain level of knowledge and experience to build a proper code that's safe and secure.
And also, just like us, we'll need a companion in order to make the app secure, yeah?
Yeah, like a proper security engineer.
Yes, correct.
For sure.
A human.
Yes.
We can also put the code to the AI to check it, but we still need the human to
Yeah,
it.
because if you were to give the AI, okay, I want to create a application that does A, B, C, but if you're collecting user data, especially if you're in Europe, there's a lot of regulations that you have to follow. If you're creating a healthcare app, even more regulations. So you have to make sure that all of that is built in within the app itself, and that takes specialists for that.
Yeah, with the current trend that everybody's jumping to the AI train and also making their own apps and then sell it to the market, and also the trend of the companies maximizing the AI trend.
Yep.
That is dangerous.
And don't forget, if you use the AI a lot within the application, if you use the APIs, you could end up with a very big AI bill.
Hackers already knew this, so they waiting for the apps to scale, ready in the market, and then they just break the code.
Yeah. And I think that's what we heard from our chat with Sergey Luskin, a cybersecurity expert from Kaspersky. He highlighted that it is still vital to have human in the security loop. And I think you can see the video that's in our link here.
Here.
Okay.
Oh, sorry, here.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, like, it's still, even the security professionals are saying, yes, AI is great, but still, you need to have human in the loops.
This AI cybersecurity hype, don't follow blindly lah, yeah?
No, absolutely not.
News Byte number 4, OpenAI Southeast Asian expansion. OpenAI is establishing its regional anchor. The company has committed 300 million Singapore dollars to aggressively scale Singapore's local AI capabilities, focus on regional language models, and build out its regional hub.
This is a fierce battle for dominance in Asia. OpenAI isn't alone in this massive infrastructural land grab. Microsoft has locked in a number of cloud and AI infrastructure deals in Malaysia. Google is committed to $1 billion to build dedicated data centers and cloud infrastructure in Thailand. NVIDIA is partnering with local conglomerates to build up multi-million-dollar AI supercomputer clusters in Indonesia, and the list goes on.
Don't forget the China's AI that's already in the market as well.
Yeah, Huawei, Alibaba, all of them are in Southeast Asia, and they're very aggressively, as we talked previously, they're offering their own model as a service now.
Yep.
So yeah, the tokenomics is getting interesting.
Yeah, it's a logical move from the OpenAI because Singapore is the hubs of the Asian business.
Yep, and whatever happens in Singapore, they will usually filter down to the rest of Southeast Asia because it is the hub for Southeast Asia. The interesting thing is that Indonesia is one of the largest users of ChatGPT in the world. So why didn't they come to Indonesia? That's a question. But yeah, I mean, like, basically, there's every country, every government is looking to see what can AI do for them, and some are moving faster than others.
I'm pretty sure there's a lot of AI companies in this region they might be rappers, but they have some innovative solution using AI. So the OpenAI presence in these regions might be very important. And also, do you feel something that during at night, yeah,
Mhm.
it becomes slower, man?
In Asia,
Yeah,
yeah, because night in Asia is morning and afternoon in the U.S. and Europe. So, yeah, maybe a local data center would be like a regional one would be useful. We'll see. We'll see if that happens.
yeah. Sure.
Byte number 5. Musk loses his OpenAI lawsuit but aims to launch SpaceX IPO. Elon Musk's long-running legal crusade against OpenAI has officially hit a wall. A judge has dismissed his high-profile lawsuit, basically ruling that Musk's is too late.
And the timing couldn't be wilder. Immediately following the dismissal, news broke that OpenAI has confidentially filed for its massive IPO, tapping Goldman Sachs and Morgan Stanley to lead the offering.
But Musk isn't sitting still. SpaceX has already filed its own blockbuster IPO paperwork, directly framing its Starlink satellite network as a critical infrastructure needed to power edge compute for the next wave of global AI. The battle is moving from the courtroom to the stock exchange, with SpaceX aiming for a June launch. OpenAI is looking at September, but that might be delayed.
Yeah, I feel this trial result is like an anticlimax, man. Even Musk went to China with President Trump. He didn't wait to get the results from the trial. Maybe he even already knew what's the result.
Well, basically no one looked good in this lawsuit. OpenAI didn't look very good. Elon Musk didn't look very good. XAI didn't look very good because it turns out that they also distilled data from OpenAI, like what the Chinese AI manufacturers have done as well. So no one looked good.
But Mira Murati looks good.
Yes, but
She used this event for expanding her own thinking machine.
yeah, her own AI company. So Mirati was with OpenAI. She was part of that whole brouhaha when Sam Altman was first fired.
Just like HBO Succession series, yeah.
Yeah, so we'll have to see how that will end up. But so far, I mean, like now with the news, so now that the whole trial part 1 is done, because Elon Musk says that he's going to appeal, OpenAI is now filing for their IPO.
This the real battle, yeah.
That's going to be the real battle because everyone is looking for it to be a $1 trillion company out of the gate. SpaceX, OpenAI, and Anthropic. And there's also word that Anthropic will have a much higher valuation in the weeks to come because of all of their investment. The problem for SpaceX, it is not profitable at all. I think 4.9 billion net losses on 18.67 billion in consolidated revenue for 2025. It's a great space company, but is it a growth company? Plus the fact that they have Twitter/X as well as XAI part of that company as well. I mean, is this a company that investors want to invest in because they'd like to have a good return on investment? But it's not exactly a very good business. Yes, space is good, but you add Twitter, you add XAI in it, and yeah.
Yeah, it's like a mix of everything, yeah. Yeah, for the context, 200 companies in the S&P 500 had more revenue last year than did SpaceX.
Yeah.
This include Tesla, whose sales were 5 times higher, yeah.
Yeah, so this is the S1 shows how the business is running. They do boost satellites up into space. They do a lot of good things. Actually, after they announced their IPO and their filing, they had to delay one of the launches after that. So that's not very good.
Although the SpaceX got a little help from Anthropic.
Yep, because just very recently they agreed to pay 1.25 billion per month for their compute, which actually is the big one in Tennessee, the Colossus data center. So yeah.
So just for fun, Fish, are you going to place your investment to SpaceX?
No, because our next story will tell you why.
This is Byte 6, Google's ultimate data demand. Google's I/O 2026 made it explicitly clear where the tech giants is heading. Google's entire agentic future hinges on a massive, non-negotiable trade-off to get truly useful AI, you must give up access to your personal data.
They're banking heavily on user trust, requiring deep access to your private files, real-time screen activity, and daily interactions to fuel their context-aware models. It forces users into a rather uncomfortable corner. Either hand over the keys to your entire digital life for convenience, or get left behind in a downgraded legacy internet ecosystem.
There's a lot of announcement.
Yeah, there's a lot of interesting announcements from Google I/O. I mean, a lot.
Yeah.
Gemini 3.5 Flash, a new default model, has been announced, and it's specifically for speed and agentic workflows, and it's 4 times faster than competing frontier systems. Gemini Omni is a new generation of fully multimodal models, capable of generating and editing video, text, audio, all of that. But every output will have a synth ID watermarking, which is good. So people can track and see, is this AI or is this not? Also they have Gemini Spark, which is their flagship 24/7 personal agent. So it will operate on virtual machines on the cloud, Google Cloud, and will work autonomously even if your laptop is off. So it's amazing, a lot of good stuff. But like one of the things that I find a bit worrying is like Ask YouTube. It's a new way to search. So basically, if you search for something like, okay, how do I teach my child to ride a bicycle? It will also immediately include YouTube as well, but it will also give you a summary of the video as well as which part you should watch. And it doesn't really invite you to go to the video.
So people don't have to see the whole video, you mean?
Yeah, and will it count towards the view count? Like as content creators, will it count towards our view count or not?
Come on, please enjoy our video.
Yeah, so that's the question. So now it's not about search; it's about AI search, and will AI be the judge, jury, and executioner for all content that's there? Because like if you have 1,000 or 1,000,000 videos about how to teach your child to ride a bicycle, which one tops the list?
Okay, this is a unique trend according to us, the Gen X here. My kid just start watching a series on Netflix maybe 3 days ago, and today I know that she already get into the season 4. I mean, that's very fast. So she just fast forward it and then do the twice or triple speed. So Google already knew this trend, yeah? I think that's why they put this Gemini AI engine in the YouTube. So when sometimes people get, not passionate enough to see the whole thing, yeah. So they get this summary and also this timestamp. So yeah, they can directly get into where they're interested. So I think we don't need to use the intro anymore, please. Just jump into the topics.
Yeah, I mean it is good that it helps people find the information they need. Not good for those who are creating the content and trying to monetize and whatnot. So that will be an issue.
But I'm quite intrigued with Gemini Spark. Don't confuse with the MetaMuse Spark, yeah. So what you already mentioned, this is an agent that never sleeps. It lives in our phones and also on our PC, even during we sleep. So what I'm very interested to this because I can be very focused to my works and let the agent do this shopping, booking transport, something that routine. So, but I also kind of afraid, man. So what happened if the agent spending a lot of money, something that I'm not interested and even I don't need to, and sending the emails to someone that I don't want to be in touch to?
Yes. This is basically the Google's version of OpenClaw, which is basically what everybody wants. They're hoping to have that virtual assistant, the actual virtual assistant that's a basic computer that does what it asks. So I would probably have more confidence in in Spark than OpenClaw
Yeah, of course.
because it's more, if I dare say, professionally made, and they do have security in mind as well. So is this a picture of the internet? Will people use this based upon the like in China, they had these OpenClaw parties. Is this something that people will then embrace? Because again, looking back to the previous story, would I spend money on the SpaceX IPO or the OpenAI IPO or the Cloud IPO? Sorry, Anthropic IPO? No, because look at what Google has done. They have the scale, they have the user base, they have the revenue, they have the money to run all this. And they're a $4.6 trillion company. OpenAI and Anthropic think they're going to be a $1 trillion company out of the gate. Against that, I don't think so.
Yeah, it's getting make sense, Fish.
Mhm.
I can understand your point of view. There's a lot of things Google IOs, and it shows that Google has the power. Even it's the right time to announce that before the IPO of the OpenAI, also SpaceX. Yeah.
Yeah. Question is, are people listening, or are they still FOMOing onto trying to get into the AI IPO? But I mean, like right now, Google had launched that, and I would look at their stock price and see, hey, could this be a $6 trillion company?
Yeah, they have everything. The chips, the smart glasses, you name it, the YouTube,
Yep.
the search engine, they rule the internet.
Yeah. As I've said before, the first person out of the gate usually is not the one who is the big winner of it all. It's always the second and third one. Google is not the first search engine. Facebook is not the first social media. And to be honest, OpenAI and Anthropic is not the first AI company. That was IBM and amazingly Google. So Google and IBM were forced to go public basically with their AI, which they've kept in the research departments. So now they can catch up really fast. So yeah, this Google I/O announcement should be something people to consider
Yes.
when wanting to purchase an IPO of certain AI companies.
And also don't forget, there is another competition from China. Alibaba is huge.
And they're getting bigger even faster, even though it's open source.
And they have their own tech stack.
Yep. So stay tuned. Still, this game is not over yet.
It's far from over, but we have to wrap this episode 19. From wide open data leaks to corporate tracking engines disguised as helpful feature are seeing the real cost of unvetted AI deployment.
The structure foundation is cracking. If you're constructing your entire workflow using unchecked AI tools, you are building on a shifting sand.
We'll be back next week with more deep dives from the digital frontline. Until then, stay human.
And keep your data locked down. Tally ho.